Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your January 2024 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom and the oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Right. Well, we have Neptune, and Neptune's actually been in Pisces for quite some time and still has quite a bit of time to go. But for you guys, Pisces energy is your 6th house of health, work, daily routines. All right, we have 5. So 5th house for you guys is Aquarius energy. And astrologically speaking, of course, as we get toward the end of January, we'll move into Aquarius season. And Pluto is actually going to be moving back into Aquarius as well in January. So makes sense to see that energy pop up for you. And, well, we have you. So Libra. So yeah, could just be saying you guys might have a certain level of focus on yourselves this month too. And as far as what's going on in your sign, we have the South Node there. So you guys could be releasing some things, possibly going back 9, possibly even 18 years in the past. But we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the 8 of Swords, Gemini energy, and challenging that, we have the 4 of Wands, Aries energy. So, interesting energies to see here. I mean, this is definitely a much more bright, vibrant energy than the 8 of Swords, right? So it could just be saying for some of you, you might have the idea of what you want, right? You might have the vision for what you want your life to look like, but the difficulty could be taking that first step, right? So you're like, okay, I know what I want. In fact, interestingly enough, I was just looking at in the background there. Let me see if I can get it to focus better. There we go. Looks like a similar castle type of thing to what we see here, right? So I don't know if I've ever even noticed that in the background before, really, but yeah. So to see that, could just be saying that this could be what you long for, right? But at the same time, where to begin, right? So that could be the difficulty for you. You guys could be possibly overthinking it, right? Or realizing that, hey, it'll take a lot of steps for me to get here, but where do I even start, right? So that could be what you guys could be struggling with a little bit this month. All right, in the foundation position, we have the King of Wands. So this could just be saying that maybe even within your friend environment, for example, you might see people who have already gotten to the place where you want to be, for example, and you could just be maybe even questioning yourself like, well, they've been able to do it. Why has it been such a struggle for me to this point, right? But this could also be saying that there could be someone in your environment that could actually be helpful to you, right? So maybe it's as simple as having conversations, right? Ask them, what steps they've taken, right? Ask them for some tips or some advice. And that could be what's at play for you guys this month, is at least getting that opportunity to have that type of conversation. Right, in the past position, we have the Sun. So yeah, this could just be saying that in the past you might have had a real light, playful approach to things, right? And maybe for whatever reason you might have lost that. But it could just be saying that you might have had a much more bright, optimistic viewpoint on things in the past. Obviously, contrast that with the 8 of Swords, which doesn't look all that bright and optimistic at all, right? Right, in the present position, we have the Emperor. So yeah, this is Aries energy here. Now, of course, this could be another person, just like with the King of Wands, but this could also just be pointing to your energy as well, to where maybe this could be pointing to the shift that you've gone through, right? To where in the past you had a more light, playful energy, lighter approach to things, and now you could be really strict and stringent with things, right? So for some of you, it could just be saying that you might even still be making that progress while doing it, right? But it could just feel a lot heavier taking this approach to get to that 4 of Wands place, right? Versus the Sun energy. So it could just be one of those things where that could be the key for you figuring out, like, okay, why does this feel so heavy, right? Why do I feel like each step along the way is just so much to bear? In the near future position, we have the High Priestess. So, yeah, this could just be saying that you might decide to really tap in, and seeing the Neptune energy here from your dice, that would make sense as well. Say to really intuitively figure out, like, okay, where's the disconnect here, right? Because, like I said, the division seems to be there, but the execution seems to be what's lacking right now, right? But we see action oriented energies in the foundation and in the present, so there is some kind of disconnect, right? Even this is a bit more of an action oriented energy, it's just a child, but you could see it looks like movement versus that Eight of Swords. So you could be trying to maybe go back and see where the disconnect did happen, right? And figure out a way around it. Right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Two of Wands. So yeah, at the very least, to me, this says that there's the desire to take action. So I feel like you're probably more than over being an Eight of Swords energy, right? Like, okay, again, like I said, it could just even be a bit of a mystery to you, where you're like, okay, I know where I want to get. Maybe at one point or another, I was on that path, but now I just seem to be struggling to continue in that path. So that's what I see with that. All right, in the environment position, we have the Ten of Swords, so more Gemini energy here, just like the Eight of Swords. But now, given the context we were talking about, where it feels like there's a stuck energy, stagnant energy versus what's around you, I would view this actually as more of a positive to see this in your environment, because to me this says you might finally figure it out, right? It might click for you when you go into that intuitive High Priestess energy. Like, okay, I'm done overthinking the situation, and now I'm ready to actually take action. Okay, in the Hopes or Fears position, we have the Knight of Swords. So yeah, this is actually a Gemini energy here again. And it could just be saying that that's what you're really hoping for, right? You're like, yes, like, by all means, like, I'm not happy to be in the Sage of Swords energy. I'd love to get that movement, right? So, for some of you, might even involve just having to travel, right? Because all of those Gemini energies are ninth house for you, right? So even if not traveling a great distance, possibly even within where you live, expose yourself to a different culture a little bit, right? And maybe it'll just give you that one little tiny ingredient that could be missing. That'll give you a different viewpoint on something, and then that'll actually help you move forward. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the World. So yeah, this is an energy that points to successful completion. I do often view this as North Node energy, so it's interesting to see the Aries energies that play here, which is where the North Node is right now. So yeah, I mean, with that in your opposite sign, it could just be saying that, given that the North Node is there, you might be having to find this balance of being more action oriented, right? And having some growth around it too. And maybe, for example, if we look at it in the total context, which is to say, okay, Aries, North Node, which is very action oriented, but then it's in your opposite sign of partnerships, right? Maybe you've always insisted on going it alone with a certain situation, right? And maybe the key there, as we see two people in the Four of Wands, could just be saying, well, maybe it's as simple as finding someone to partner up with, right? So that could be something you might be looking into as well. But whatever the case, to see the World card here to me says that this cycle that you've been in definitely served a purpose and served its purpose, meaning that it looks like you are meant to complete it, and you will do so successfully. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, there could definitely be a new opportunity that could crop up for you. And like I said, at least it looks like, while you might not be there just yet, looks like at some point this month you're going to get to that point where you are going to be in an action-oriented energy. So I feel like this is saying that you will actually take advantage of that opportunity when it comes. Right, moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have Don't Take Anything Personally. And it says Transform Your Life. Alright, so we'll see what it actually has to say. Alright, let's see if we get that to focus a little better. Okay, It says when you refuse to take things personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your feelings of anger, jealousy, and even your sadness will simply disappear if you don't take things personally. Well, on the one hand, that might sound a little bit overly simplified, right? But it could just be pointing to things that you might be releasing, right? So in the foundation, when we talked about the King of Wands, I was saying that maybe even look at people in your environment and you're like, well, they've gotten to where I want to go. How they do it, right? I didn't necessarily feel like an energy of jealousy with that, right? But maybe some of you might have even been looking at some of that, like, am I jealous of these people, right? Am I upset that they're there and I'm not, right? So these could just be things that you're looking at, releasing, and then actually in doing so, it's going to help you move forward on your path a lot better. Okay, from the Wisdom of the Oracle, we have Orphaned. There's the artwork, and the number is 5 for this one. So we'll see what this has to say. Okay, essential meanings says the sense of loss and identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. The Oracle's message: we were all meant to have connections with other people, within our family, society, and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize when being a part of, rather than separate from, is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way you did before and need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, and has a different spin on the main things that I was talking about with the main thread, but I could also see how that would fit as well with the Eight of Swords energy, seeing the World card and the outcome. So hopefully that resonated with you guys too. The relationship message says, as you shift and evolve and commit to your own growth, you long for support but may be disappointed and hurt by others who are not providing what you feel you deserve. Perhaps you are drifting away from this relationship because you're in a different stage of personal growth. Perhaps you are in a new relationship and discovering that you don't share the same values and beliefs, so you feel left out, unable to get to that intimate place of safety and belonging. Take heart, as Spirit knows you and loves you, and will steer you in the direction of those who accept you as you are without artifice or agenda. Don't compromise yourself to belong. It won't be worth the price. So that was an interesting message there too, right? Because I was talking about how with that Four of Wands energy, it seems like you guys have the vision, right? But it's just a matter of, okay, but how do I get there, right? So for some of you, if you are in that type of relationship, maybe that's it, right? Where you're like, okay, I know this is where I want to be, but maybe you do come to the realization that, okay, but I can't get there with the person I'm currently with, right? So that could be what the Ten of Swords might point to in that regard, with the Two of Wands pointing to perhaps seeking something new. So hopefully that resonated with you. And the prosperity message says, this card reminds you that you can't be all things to all people. You are not going to be popular with everyone, and that has to be okay with you. Be clear about your mission, your brand, your work persona, and your contribution to the world, as these must be based on what you authentically have to offer, not something you think will sell or you perceive they may want. You will attract abundance by being completely yourself. Stay in your own lane. That's where you will shine and where you will experience prosperity. So definitely an interesting message there, right? Because when I was talking about the King of Wands energy and the foundation, I did view that as a potential area of comparison, right? Where I was saying where you might be looking at, oh, well, how are these people there? I want to be there as well, right? So it could just be one of those things saying that maybe that's not necessarily the path you're supposed to be on. But hoping that resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there. Hope you have a good holiday season and new year, and I will see you all next month. All right, bye.